This video, I'm going to quickly walk through the syllabus and set up the class a little bit. So hopefully you've all watched my short little welcome video. This video is going to look at the syllabus. So this is our home page, the Get Started, where you have the syllabus here, the video. I'm going to post another video that's guidelines for the discussion boards shortly. A little bit about yours truly, some things for the class, accommodations, all that stuff. So you know the drill. All right, here is the syllabus. Let me open this. Okay. All right. This is English 1260 600 Readings in Shakespeare. And my areas of scholarly research and expertise is literature. Whenever I teach a literature class or a poetry class, I teach poetry here too, I always thematize the class because I think that helps us frame what we're reading and gives us ways to look at the different texts. I'm taking the title, "Oh, What a Rogue and Peasant Slave Am I," from a Hamlet soliloquy. And some of the things we're going to look at in these plays and poems: guilt, indecision, revenge, and melancholy in Shakespeare. There's classes online, DL. There's my name, Charles Kell. You could just call me when you email me. Just call me Charles. My email address if you need anything. If you ever want to Zoom and meet or even meet in person at CCRI, just let me know. The class is 3 hours. Course description. A number of major plays and sonnets by Shakespeare are analyzed in order to develop students' understanding of the work's dramatic, cultural, and historical context, as well as various critical viewpoints. The plays are selected from comedies, tragedies, histories. That's the general course description from CCRI. Here's my course description. Arguably, Shakespeare's most famous soliloquy is spoken by Hamlet in Act 3, Scene 1. To be or not to be, that is the question. Here, among many thoughts, the prince questions existence and being in the world. Shortly before, in Act 2:2, Hamlet, in a simultaneous mood of rage, self-pity, self-hatred, and indecisiveness, exclaims, "Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I," and sets forth a beguiling look into his inner self. This soliloquy, along with other important moments in the play, serve as the base of our course. In English 1260 Readings in Shakespeare, we're going to be reading 4 plays. We're going to start with Hamlet, we're going to read Macbeth, we're going to read Antony and Cleopatra, a favorite of mine, and we're going to finish up with Titus Andronicus, a really bloody, violent play. We're going to open with a few sonnets that help us frame Shakespeare's language and help us close read. And we're going to end by watching a movie or two, some adaptations. And we're going to also place Shakespeare in contemporary context. Our overarching themes will swirl around notions of guilt, indecisiveness, revenge, and melancholy. These 4 terms will frame our course, our close readings, and our investigations into the dazzling thought process and timeless wordplay of Shakespeare. Now Shakespeare, it's difficult language. It's Elizabethan language, so it really bears close reading and close attention. I would argue, though, that there's no. I don't know if there are many other writers in life that really speak to life as we live it as Shakespeare. Everything we go to. Think of the idea of guilt, defined in the Oxford English Dictionary as the fact of having committed an offense or crime, or a feeling of having done something wrong. Think of the various differences of guilt. We could feel guilty for something bad or something slight. What do we feel guilty for? We didn't call a friend. We did this or did that, right? Think of the various levels of guilt over time and how those can gnaw at us. Think of the term being indecisiveness, not able to make decisions quickly, not settling on an issue. Are any of you indecisive? Think about this. Think about what the choices we make and what we do. Hamlet, I argue, is the first literary text where the main character doesn't act right away. He's indecisive. Previously, Beowulf, all those other texts, the hero is wronged and they act immediately. Hamlet is the first character who's really indecisive, who's gnashing his teeth, doesn't know what to do. Think of the notion of revenge. Something harmful done in return for an injury or wrong. When we seek revenge, a lot of our plays deal with revenge, the taking of revenge. And ultimately, think of melancholy. Have you ever felt melancholy? A deep, long-lasting sadness. Feeling immense sadness that just lingers. It's not a passing phase here. These are the frames we'll be looking at in the sonnets and the plays. All right, learning outcomes. At the end of this course, you should be able to identify and describe distinct literary, cultural, and historical characteristics of Shakespeare, display a working knowledge of dramatic and poetic structures, dramatizations of these works since the 16th century, identify distinct literary genres of the tragedies, comedies, histories, demonstrate greater reading and fluency of Elizabethan English, analyze Shakespeare plays for their structure and meaning using correct terminology, write analytically about Shakespeare's works using MLA guidelines, and effectively communicate what you've done. So there are no required text for the class. You don't have to buy any books. Everything's available. If you click on this Folger Shakespeare here, as you see, everything's located. All the plays, all the sonnets, everything. You see, there's Hamlet, right? You click on Hamlet, and it gives you an introduction, and you can read the play here, right? So you could start there, and that's what we're going to be doing. So everything's located on Folger Shakespeare. Nothing required. Don't worry about the attendance. This is online. Don't worry about this stuff, attendance or whatnot. Here's what you're concerned with, the grading policy. I always base my courses off 1,000 points. It's the easiest way to determine your grade. For example, if you finish with 940 points, you have a 94%. We'll have 10 discussion boards throughout the semester. There were 35 points each. That's basically going to be a short response where you respond to the plays based on some questions. I'm going to go over that in a separate video. So watch the other video. That's a big chunk of the class there. That's 35% of the class. And we have 3 papers. That's what we're doing. 3 short papers, nothing long. That's the class. You have 10 discussion boards, 3 short papers. I'm not a big fan of quizzes, exams, tests in this. You've either read the stuff and know it or you don't. I'm going to add 150 points here, though, for attendance and professionalism. Obviously, this class is DL, so there's no attendance, but I'm counting attendance as turning your work in on time. If your work's late, you're going to get dinged with points here. So you can't, I've had students in the past who haven't done anything all semester and they wait till the end and I'm going to try and do everything. No, you're not going to get credit if it's really late, or you're going to get less credit if you turn in late. So that's what's that there's for. All right, so all the grades will be available on your papers with detailed comments through Microsoft Word track changes. If you write a paper, my goal is for everyone to do really well in this class. I want you all to get an A. All you have to do is follow along with the readings, the videos, and the guidelines, and you should do well. If you get a lesser grade than what you want, you'll have the opportunity to revise your paper and turn it back in. I want you to get the best grade possible. You must complete each paper in order to pass the class. You can't do like paper 1, 2 and say, I'm not going to do paper 3. So there's that. If you need accommodations, contact the DSS. But it's papers and discussion boards. All right. We are not officially meeting, right? This is DL. However, I think it makes the course a lot easier if we structure it based on a schedule. Obviously, read it when you want, but if this gives you a guideline, this helps. So Tuesday, introduction, syllabus, we're going to look at Shakespeare's Sonnet 30. September 7th, we're going to look at Sonnet 73 and 116. there's Hamlet. This is what I want you to read. We're going to read it in small increments. And it's difficult, right? You're going to need to close read and reread. And this is the text here, or this is the syllabus. This is what we're going to do. Discussion board, paper 1, all the way till the end. We're going to do Hamlet, Macbeth, Antony and Cleopatra, Titus Andronicus, and we're going to watch some movies at the end. That's the class. So what I have also done is structured the class under weekly sessions. If you click on weekly sessions, this follows this as well. There's week 1, and that goes through, see, here are all the sonnets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post videos of me close reading the sonnets and talking about them, and they'll be posted under weekly sessions. So look out for those in the next week or so. My plan, or my goal, is to close read all the plays with you and post videos. That'll be helpful reading. So I'll have a reading of Sonnet 30. So there's Sonnet 30. We'll closely look at it. Oh, right there. So those are the 3 sonnets. Week 1, week 2. Hamlet, and I'll have videos posted where I read each scene of Hamlet and Macbeth and all that. So that's basically the class, really. And it's an introduction. It's a readings in Shakespeare. It's a 1260 class. It's a freshman level class. I'm not going to ask you to write an intense research paper. I want you to really try to close read Shakespeare and see how it contextualizes and relates to our lives now. So if you have any questions, comments, please reach out to me, and I'll be back in touch with some videos. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.